I'm out the my monitor be wilding all the time, man. Probably because they not real monitors, they actually TVs, and so they be acting crazy sometimes. So hopefully I can get this. Hopefully this work like it normally do, and I don't have to restart my computer. If so, I'm gonna have to try to do the episode with only one monitor. Okay, look like we cooking with Crisco. Come on. There we go. Okay. All right. We cooking with Crisco. Now I got to put everything back on this monitor. Y'all give me a second, man. While I put everything back on the monitor, let's get the pleasantries out of the way. I jollipies for not looking at y'all, but I'm just trying to get I got to move everything back to that monitor because it everything shut down. But if this is your first time tuning in to Tim's Tidbits, allow me to say welcome. If it's not your first time tuning in to Tim's Tidbit, I still want to say welcome. And I also want to give you a nice hearty, well, thank you for always tuning in to Tim's Tidbit and hanging out with me and my homeboy back here. His name is Spidey. Y'all know Spidey. He's always back there chilling by the window. Now, move this over here. I got a million things that I got to move around. It's a whole bunch of charts and stuff. When the monitor disconnects, everything goes over to this monitor. So then I have like 8 charts on this monitor over here. So then I have to move everything back whenever it disconnects. And I'm not going to be able to do this episode with it not being right. So y'all already know how I get. So I truly jollipies for the inconvenience. I didn't want to hold y'all up no longer because I was trying to get it to reconnect and it wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. I didn't want to shut the computer all the way down. So I tried my old 52 fake out when I just unplugged the monitor. Okay. What's my divergent screen? Oh, there it is. Obviously, my divergent screen missing. Okay. All right. There you go. We're cooking with Crisco now. We in there. Share the screen. Now I can share the screen and I don't have to worry about everything being on one screen and it looking like this. Looking crazy like this with everything on one screen. Now I can, there you go. Now, we in here, man. Look here, man. If you don't know who I am, my name is Timothy Lee Rogers Sr. I get on Al Gore's internet every single day. Once at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. That's in the morning, for those who don't know. Once at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's in the evening, for those who don't know. In the morning, we talk about the overnight price action. So we can see what the price action did throughout the night and get our heads together to think, hey, what's the high probability trades for today? What's the high probability trades for the week? What's the high probability? What's the liquidity runs that may happen? What's all of this stuff? Hold on. Let me reel it in something. I'm talking too forcefully with my voice. I can feel my throat. Let me calm down some. Then in the evening, we get together and we talk about the price action recap. We look back over the price action and we break down what the price did today, that day. If that sounds like something you're into, consider subscribing. Let's go see who's in the chat. Hit the like button for me too. If you already subscribed, then Crisco is bad for the see what I got to deal with? And then I typed this in the chat and I didn't even hit it. I was like, my monitor tripping and it's still in the chat. It never even went out across the chat. So I'll just delete that off. What's up, everybody in the chat? Let's go ahead and get into it, man. Like I said, I wanna try to figure out a way to make it more beneficial, I guess, informative. I guess that's the word I'm looking for the people that's relatively new here. We've been, gaining a few new subscribers over the last couple of weeks. We even been gaining some people that joined the channel membership that I didn't even know the names. I've never seen the names before, but they was joining the channel membership. I appreciate that. So I want to figure out a way. Well, I ain't gonna say I want to figure out. I'm gonna try to make the when we talk about the price. Hold on, man. I don't know. I got to get it together. When we talk about the price, I want to make it, you know what I'm saying, and more informative. I take for granted that, hey, everybody in the gang been around for like ever and a day. Stay off the internet. What? What in the world? Believe in. Do you? What in the world? I don't know. Don't you hate when people involve you in group text that ain't got nothing to do with you? I got this friend in Florida. Whenever he texts back and forth with my brother, he feel the need to put me in the conversation. And I be reading it like, what in the world going on? But it be conversations that they be having, and it's like my friend, he won't let stuff go. And they be texting over and over and over and over, and it ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm like, why are you including me on this, man? Anyway, what was I saying? What was I saying? Somebody help me out. What was I saying? What was I talking about? Baby, what was I talking about? My wife ain't paying attention. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. I want to make it beneficial to like the newer subscribers and the newer members. So when I go through the price action, I'm gonna try to be more deliberate about discussing exactly what the price did, instead of just going back through and being like, yeah, price. And when I say discussing exactly what the price did, discussing what price did in the terms of the ICT concepts that I trade. I'm going to try to make it as overall as possible. Sometimes I may tend to be a little biased toward what I only look for when I want to take a entry for myself, but I will try to talk in like all over broad terms. Even like if I'm not a breaker trader, I still would try to point out, you know what I'm saying, things that price did off of breakers. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, let's get into the price action, man. These are hourly candles that we're looking at. Shout out Black Spiders, man. Black Spiders. I started to go back and update my journal entry from today. If anybody downloaded it or if anybody looked at it, I went back and I looked at it again right before I fell asleep sitting right here at the desk. I'm talking about I had the old man sleep going on too. I was sitting there, I was so slumped over. I'm talking about I had the old man sleep. It felt so good too. When I got up, my neck and everything was hurting from falling asleep in this chair. But while I was sleeping, Charlie, beautiful sleep. Beautiful sleep. Oh man. Oh, yeah. the trade we was talking about this morning, when I went through it and looked at it, and I was like, yeah, I wouldn't have called it no different than the way I called it today. When I went back and looked at it, and then I looked, that's why it's good to take notes. That's why it's good to take notes, right? The good thing about taking notes in a book is like you can flip to it quick. The bad thing about taking notes in a book, you have to actually write it out. And when you write it in pen, if you make mistakes, it starts getting sloppy. The good thing about taking notes on the computer is no matter how much you mess up, you can backspace and then redo it so the notes can be neat and beautiful and so organized. And you can do search for terms. You could go in and be like, fair value gaps, and the search for that word fair value gaps all through the documents. Easy to find stuff. Bad thing about it, you got to come to the computer, you got to open up the program, you got to look for it, got the book right there, you quickly, boom, look through it, and you can scan through, like you just look and scan and be like, oh yeah, I remember how I wrote that down. You remember visually, I remember how it looked when I took that note. I remember what that note looked like. I remember when I was writing, oh, it's going to be on the left side of the page, about 3/4 down. This, I know where it said, boom, look at it. But I looked at this right here. It says, high resistance liquidity run equals the market printing conflicting PD arrays. That's the first thing I had wrote down on high resistance liquidity run, right? During the time when we were looking at that trade, what were we in between? Somebody from Black Spiders put it in the chat. What did I say we were in between when I was like, forget it, I'm going to own it. I think it's going after the sell side. We're going to take the entry off this 1 minute fair value gap right here. What did I say we were in between, right? I went back and looked at this right here. This is bullet point number 8. High resistance liquidity runs equal the market printing conflicting PD arrays. There's no easy draw on liquidity, right? Who remember what I said from this morning? When I said, forget it, I'm going to own it. I think we're attacking this sell side, taking the entry off this 1 minute fair value gap at the low of this order block. We're taking it off the 1 minute fair value gap, and we entering at the low of this order block. The low of the order block right there, consequent encroachment is going down. But before I said I'm going to own it, what did I say we were in between? Who remembers? I know it's somebody in here from the Black Spiders that was on there who were, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. My feelings hurt right now. Don't nobody be listening to nothing I be saying. Don't nobody be, the chat just quiet. It's crickets. Yes, vegetable oil. What? Y'all talk about food. Y'all talk about vegetable oil. Nobody. Aunts. Tice. I saw that already. Feed times a matey. Oh my goodness. My feelings hurt. My feelings hurt. We were in between. We were in between a bearish order block and a bullish order block, and they both were still active. We hadn't revisited either one of them. We were right in between a bearish order block. I'm assuming you took the 1 minute fair value gap from the premium. Yes, it was in the premium. It was in the premium. But I even read the thing out for y'all to give you a huge clue of what I was talking about. High resistance liquidity runs. The market is printing conflicting PD arrays, and there's no easy draw on liquidity. We were in between a bullish, an active bearish fair value gap and an active bullish fair value gap. Price was in between the two. which one is going to do its job, right? I said, okay, the market showing me it's going to run the sell side. It's going to attack the sell side. I'm owning that. I'm entering the trade here. This fair value gap is in the premium. Boom. Let's do it. Right? The market went up, took out buy side, and then went down and took out that sell side. It was in between conflict and PD arrays. Which one is going to win? Right? When earlier today, when I was like, I wouldn't have called this no different, right? But since y'all ain't listening, let me go down here. Let me go down here and talk with the screen. Since my feelings hurt now. Since my feelings hurt now. This was the buy side right here. It was the, no, come over here. It was the 1030. 1030 and 1035. Let me look and see. I called something like fair value gap, ping pong. I still don't mess with OB. I called something like that, fair value gap, ping pong. Yeah, that's a nice term. I ain't gonna use it though, because you suggested it. If Marcia or somebody would have suggested, I'd probably use it. But since you said that, I'm not gonna be able to do. Not gonna be able to do. I took my screen down because I ain't want nobody to get my secret sauce. 930 candle, 945 candle. So 930 candle. Okay. 930 candle. 930 candle. 945 candle. 930 candle, 945 candle, right there. Right? Bullish order block, bearish order block. Right? We down there on the 1 minute. We hanging out on the 1 minute. Hanging out on the 1 minute. Hanging out on the 1 minute. Right? So we coming here right there. Just the 1 minute fair value gap right there. Where is it? 1 minute fair value gap. 950 candle. No, that's the 1 minute 950 candle. Right here. This is the 1 minute fair value gap right here. Right? 1 minute fair value gap on the 950 candle. Right? Right? Fair value gap in the premium. This is the equilibrium. Fair value gap in the premium. That's the only imbalance on this leg down right here. It's in the premium. I say we coming down here to attack the sell side. The sell side was below here. Right there. Sell side was below there. I said we're going to come down and attack this sell side. Right? Now, earlier today, when I was saying I wouldn't have changed anything about the way I called it. After looking at my notes, right? After looking at my notes, I would have changed something about the way I called it. Why is that? Because we were in between opposing PD arrays, and they were both still active. Right? That one there is a bearish order block on the 5 minute. This one here is a bullish order block on the 5 minute. Right? We're in between here, right? come down. We got this order block down here. Come up, we got this order block up here, right? This order block here is still active. We haven't revisited yet. Price came down here, right? It started coming back up. So we just touched this order block right here. This order block is in the midst of doing its job. It's supporting price, right? It's supporting price. We're trying to go short because we believe price is coming down here to this sell side liquidity, right? We believe price is coming down here to this sell side liquidity. So when we come up, price come down, right? We set this now, mind you, now we've come over here and we've taken out the buy side over here. We've come over here, we've taken out the buy side, still haven't delivered to the sell side yet, right? Coming down, right? We bounced off this order block right there, and then we set an order block above it, right? So we're in between opposing order blocks right now. This right here at this moment, right? At this moment, entering here, I later, after reading my notes, I realized I put myself in a high resistance liquidity run, right? How did I do that? Because we got an order block, a bullish order block whose job is to stop price from getting to this fair value gap, right? And then we got a bearish order block whose job is to help push price down to that fair value gap, right? So, I mean, at this sell side, keep it from getting to the sell side, help it get to the sell side. So as you see, right, once we went up, right, we hit the fair value gap. This is when we entered on the bottom of this 1 minute order block right here. So we took the entry based off the fair value gap and entered right at the low of this order block, right inside the fair value gap. Price went up to the top of the fair value gap, right? Came back down a little bit, pushed all the way up. Now, mind you, if we would have put the stop up there where I first said, I was like, hey, do I want the top of the swing high or the top of the order block? If I would have put it at the swing high, like I first said, it would have been a 5-point trade, no harm, no foul. But went against my first intention of using the swing high. I typically use the swing high for, if I got a swing high this close to the order block, I always use the swing high. Today is the first time I ever didn't use the swing high when it was this close to an order block. If it's an order block there and the swing high is like way up there, then I'll use the order block, right? I'll use the order block like, hey, I'm not giving it that high. Let me know at the order block that I'm wrong, right? Came up like a dirty dog, came up here and touched it to the tick. Touched the stop to the tick. Turned around, came back down, came back up, came back down, took out this sell side, yielded at least 5 points, almost 10 points, but it yielded the 5-point target for the ICT. Look for 5 handles daily, right? Then after taking out this short-term sell side, blast off, took out the buy side above the equal highs that we talked about. And then once we took out these equal highs, this right here is the low resistance liquidity run that ICT was talking about. When he was like, hey, look at the difference. Look, you can see the difference right here, right? Look at the difference right here. When we got into the trade, look what price did, right? For one, once we got in this area here, right, we just gonna go from when we first made the order block right here on this down counter right here, and then set this fair value gap. So this, just say this is where we made the order block here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. For 30 minutes, price dilly-dallied in between these two order blocks for 30 minutes, right? Once price took out this buy-side liquidity, it just dropped immediately all the way down to the sell side we was looking at and beyond. Got down below, I got down into the weekly gap down that we was talking about. So this is the low resistance liquidity run ICT was talking about. And because somebody said ICT said today was a low resistance liquidity run, because he was looking at the same sell side we was looking at, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody put it in the chat, and I think it was like the same area we was looking, right? But I put myself into a high resistance trade right there after going back, looking at my notes. That's what I was like, there it is. I would have done something different if I would have been thinking clearly. I got into the trade in between opposing PD arrays, right? In between opposing PD arrays right there. Once we took out that buy side, dropped it like it's hot. And then if you look up, if you go up higher, if I ain't mistaken, I think it was just a clean entry if you went up higher. On this time frame, it's a turtle soup. If you trade turtle soup, it was a turtle soup on the 5 minute. You could have just got short right up there above the buy side. It was a clean turtle soup on the 5 minute. And then I think on the hourly, if I ain't mistaken, it might have been same thing, turtle soup on the 1 minute. And then later on in the afternoon, you had a nice institutional order flow entry drill on the 2 o'clock candle for a short on 1 hour, but that was in the afternoon. You know what I'm saying? That was in the afternoon. And then on the lower time frames, when it actually dropped, let's see what if it gave anything over here. That's the 5 minute. Got an institutional order flow right here off of this fair value gap right there. A lot of the move was already gone, but that took it all the way down. Right, institutional order flow entry drill there. It went right back to the tick of the fair value gap there on the 5 minute. That was a clean entry if you take it off the touch with the institutional order flow entry drill. Look down lower. Had on the 4 minute, it gave a nice entry based off of a 4 minute fair value gap at consequent encroachment. It came all the way back to consequent encroachment on the 4 minute fair value gap, short right around the same area for that institutional order flow on the 5 minute. Came back to this breaker. You got a breaker entry right here on that same candle as the consequent encroachment on there. There's if for anybody who can't see the breaker, this is the breaker right here on the 4 minute. Got a 4 minute breaker right there. 4 minute breaker entering off either the 1040 or the 1040 4 candle. Subtract 4 points, 1036 or 1040 on trading view. Think of swim off the breaker right there. On the 3 minute, same area. Is everything seeming to be working out the same area. You got a 3 minute breaker, same spot. Everything turned out to be either this fair value gap at consequent encroachment or lower, and this breaker right over here. Everything seemed to work out the same way on there. Let's see what the 2 minutes showing for that time frame. 2 minute, same thing. 2 minute, same thing. You got the same breaker or consequent encroachment on the fair value gap. All of them the same entry. After it came down, took out the sell side below this run right here. This right here is what I should have waited for. This right here, this is what I always, y'all hear me say this a million times. Y'all hear me say this a million times. I wait for the break in market structure of the low that took out the buy side. And if you look at where right here, where I was talking about taking that entry today, that go against everything that I always say, right? Because look at this. Look at this over here. Looking at this in hindsight, right? Looking at this in hindsight, we came up and took out the buy side, right? Came back down, never even broke a low in here anywhere on this on the 2 minute. That's on the 2 minute. Let's go look at, I wasn't looking at the 2 minutes, so let's go look at the 1 minute. All right. We did get a shift in sentiment right here, but I never trade these right here. These are the ones when I be like, hey, that's a shift in sentiment, but I need a break in structure. This is what I was supposed to wait for right here to look short. This is what I was supposed to wait for right here to look short. After we got here and we went through this, I did talk about it, and I was like, you know, for me to be interested in going short, I would need to get back up here because this price run was so long. This right here was still in the discount. I would need to get back up to the premium to trade. I did talk about this later, but this right here is the type of move that I was supposed to have been waiting for to get short, right? To get short. This type of move I was supposed to have been waiting for to get short. Now, looking at this right here, if you break this into two sections, this right here would be tradable because this right here is a separate price leg from this up here. We consolidated there and dropped off. So just looking at this piece of the price leg, this would have been totally acceptable for me because it broke the structure and came here. But at the time when I was looking at it, I was looking at the entire move. Sitting here talking about it right now, just looking at price action, it makes sense. Like, oh, this is a separate section. I can trade off this little piece, just give it back to here. You know what I'm saying? Give it back to there, give it back to the order block, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I could there, but that's looking at it in hindsight. In when we was deep in the thick of it, I was looking at the whole price run, and I was like, I don't want it. Let's just come back up here. So, said all that to say, don't put yourself into a trade in between opposing PD arrays, right? This is what happens when you put yourself into a trade in between opposing PD arrays, because look at this price action in between these PD arrays, and then look at the price action after it dealt with both. After we dealt with the bullish and after we dealt with the bearish, look how price just slid down. High resistance, low resistance. High resistance, low resistance. That's the difference. That's the difference. And we saw it firsthand today because it was in living color. Now that I done did all that, I feel like that's enough. I don't want to talk about the price action no more. I done did a lot of talking, and we done been on here 34 minutes. Let me see what y'all talk about in the chat. I'm gonna start at the bottom so I can get the newest stuff. Okay, got it. It wasn't your normal model. By the way, if you must explain, please keep it. Get off my live. Baby, go in there and kick Robinson out. Look for his name and kick him out. Yeah, he was Sunday. Why would you get in early if buy side hadn't been taken out? Real talk, curious. Buy side was taken out. Buy side was taken out. The sell side hadn't been taken out yet. We took out the buy side. We took out the buy side, right? And then we gave the reversal signal here, right? We gave the reversal signal there, but this reversal signal was before taking out the sell side. So the buy side was taken out, right? Then we came down to the order block, and on the way down to the order block, we made a bearish order block here. So the buy side was taken, made the bearish order block, and I just got caught up in the moment and didn't wait for it to give me the distribution right here. This is the move. Whenever I be talking about, I be looking for an energetic move, or I be looking for the algos to tip their hand. This is what I be talking about. Like when we came down here, we went back up, came down here, we went back up, right? Then we start coming down here, right? You know, we just like slid, right? It's like we going, consolidated, and then dropped. You know what I'm saying? This right there is the algo tipping his hand like, I want to go this way for real, right? This is letting you know I'm leaving a balanced price range, like gone. That's it, tipping his hand like, we want to go this way. This is when you should start looking for your entry. This is the reaction. When I be talking about, I want to see it get to a PD array and then give me a reaction. This is the reaction, up or down. This is what I be waiting for. Sometimes I get caught up in the moment and I don't wait for this. Sometimes I get excited. Somebody be to help me on the other live too long, and I be like, hey, we over here missing trades. Then I jump in, excited, ready to go. But this is what I should have been looking for. Sorry, I meant to say, what? Sorry, I meant to say on the ES, I saw the 1 hour time frame, the 3 candles between. Wait a minute, I missed something. The 1 hour time frame, those 3 candles all finished with price imbalance from the ... I noted the 15-minute fair value gap for the. I ain't gonna hold you, Ruben. I'm so lost right now. I do not know what you talking about right now. I don't know what you talking about right now. Sorry, I meant to say the ES. Sorry, I meant to say the ES. I saw the 1 hour time frame, the 3 candles between 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. finished with the price imbalance. I took the 2 p.m. fair value gap from the 15-minute time frame. Okay, congratulations. I took the OTE of the 930 candle, entered on the 70% retracement. That's what's up. Shout out OTE. OTE still be knocking them out the park. Yes, consolidation and expansion. We wait for the market to tip his hand. Exactly. That's what I'll talk about right there. That's the tip. This is the chop. You can say this the tip from up here, coming from way up there, but this is what I like to see here. Once we flush, right? Once we flush. This right here wouldn't have gave me no kind of warm and fuzzy if I was still waiting. But this right here, breaking that. Because remember what I always be saying, the low that take out the high, once we break that low, that's saying something. Or the high that take out the low, once we break that high, that's saying something. You know what I'm saying? That's saying something, because once we break this right here, this candle over here, right there, that candle right there becomes a breaker, right? That candle becomes a breaker. And we come back up into that breaker right there. See right there, got into the body of that breaker, got right there, a little bit right at the bottom of this previous order block. Now the order block acting as resistance, that breaker right there. And then we come down. So we got the resistance, and then we got a new breaker that we just made. So that right there, this here is the tipping of the hand. Typing on my phone with YouTube is hey man. Milli Vanilli said blame it on the rain. Tranisha said OTE all day. I used to love trade OTE, but then I be needing to know the why behind it. When I was trading OTE, I felt like I was relying on the fib too much. Excuse me. I didn't know why price was coming back to that. I'm like, why is price coming back here? Why is price bouncing here? Excuse me. Why is price bouncing here? Why is price coming back here? Why is price rejecting here? I needed to know the why behind that stuff. So OTE started making my head hurt with, like, you know what I'm saying, the rest of the stuff. Now I can now incorporate OTE back into it by looking at the fibs and be like, okay, yeah, that's a good OTE entry because we coming back to this fair value gap. We coming back to this break. We coming back to this, you know what I'm saying? Order block, we coming back to some PD array in the discount or the premium. Now I understand, looking at the OTE, why it's coming back there. So OTE make more sense to me now. But before I learned all this other stuff about the other PD arrays and the PD array matrix and all of that right there, man, OTE made my head hurt. But OTE are knocking out the park. Yeah, man. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me. We're gonna make the benediction. I ain't even gonna call it benediction, because other people on Al Gore's internet used to call their closing the benediction. And I want Tim's Tidbit to be totally autonomous from any other platform on Al Gore's internet. So I'm just gonna keep my closing short tonight. Tell the people that you love them today. Don't wait till tomorrow. I appreciate y'all, man. I'll see y'all in the morning. Hey, is ICT streaming tomorrow? Do anybody know if he's streaming tomorrow? If ICT streaming tomorrow, I won't be doing no morning streams. If he not streaming tomorrow, I see y'all in the morning for the overnight price action. Till then, man, y'all enjoy y'all family. Enjoy your dinners. Gone.